Hey everybody. Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me or if the music's too loud. Good. Glad to see you're vibing out. Excellent. Thank you so much for joining me today, you guys. I guess some people are excited to hear about these Jet Set notes. We'll give it a few more minutes, let some more folks arrive before we really dig into it. Thank you. Good. All right, so I'll keep it at that volume. Put it up one more. There we go. Yeah, this is poolside. This is Beach Geeza music right here, guys. Yeah. I hope you guys have a little beverage, because I'll be definitely having one as we get into the Instagram live here. So get yourself a beverage, sit back and enjoy. Any questions, anything comes up, don't be afraid to ask. Little windy here in Austin, Texas this early evening, but the temperature is beautiful. This is my backyard here. The Beach Geeza fragrance house is actually directly to my left, where I make the magic happen. This is my backyard. This is where I create perfumes. This is where I get inspired. This is where I work. This is where I make my notes. I get ideas. Jet Set was born right here, where the idea, the inception of it was born right here where I'm sitting here talking about it with you guys. So you guys are now coming in and becoming part of the process, part of the Jet Set story, which is extraordinary. See who all's showing up here. Nice. Thank you guys for coming in, giving me the wave. We'll give it just a couple more minutes before we really kick it off and I pull the Jet Set out and show you guys. I have a special surprise that I'm gonna be pulling out here in just a minute, actually, before I get into the Jet Set notes. I wanted to pull something else in real quick and just kind of show you guys another secret project that I've been working on, kind of very much on the down low, but I felt it was important to bring it out today just for fun, and it's time to kind of unveil some of the other stuff that I've had going on as an artisan creator that I think you guys will enjoy. So I'll pull that out in just a minute. Just give it another minute or so, let some other people come in. How was y'all's week? Did y'all have a good week? Everything, it's Friday. Get a beverage, sit back and chill out with me. That's what we're here to do. We're here to be Beach Geezas together. We gotta do it. I need to do it more often with you guys. I don't do it enough, you know? And I gotta say, I miss you guys. I haven't done an Instagram live since me and my compadre Tigre Sueño were in South Padre together, and so I need to do it more often. I promise I will. This is fun. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in. Appreciate you guys being here. All right, so you guys ready to get into this? Have you poured yourself a beverage? I hope so. All right, so here it is. I'm gonna unveil Jet Set for the first time here on camera, on the live camera. There it is. There's the juice. It's a green color, not quite as dark green as Juniper Java, my other Fougere fragrance, but this might look similar to Juniper Java in its color, but I can tell you it smells nothing at all like it. It's completely different. Absolutely different than Juniper Java, but it's very much in the same genre. Juniper Java is a jungle barbershop fragrance. This is straight up a first-class cabin barbershop fragrance fougere. That's what this is. That's what Jet Set is. And I'll tell you guys the story here in just a minute of what really inspired it, the whole concept of it. But first, I'm gonna show you guys something else that I've been working on real quick. So we can have a little something to drink and kind of get loose. What are these? I've been doing my own, this was actually inspired by a lot of the ingredients that I used in bay rum when I was making that last year. Guys, I've been making my own sparkling champagne and wine. And I'm working on it, and it just came to me, I call it Jungle Hooch. It's Beach Geeza Jungle Hooch. This was made from the oranges in my backyard, this one. Because we just had that freeze not too long ago, and so I juiced those oranges and I made this. So it's been sitting in this bottle now for the last few weeks. This is pineapple, this is a pineapple Prosecco right here. But what makes these really special, you guys, when I bring in the bay rum, I infuse these with real bay leaves that are used in bay rum, Indian bay leaves. And I put cardamom in there, I put allspice in there, I put cassis in there, so it's got notes of the bay leaf, cinnamon, pineapple, all of it. It tastes absolutely delicious, and it is strong, you guys. It is strong stuff. This is Jungle Hooch. So what are people saying? Yeah, I wish I could like pour you guys some, but I'm just gonna have to enjoy it. And I'll tell you what, let me open this up and you guys can see the effervescence of it. You see it effervesce a little bit here. See those bubbles? That's natural fermentation, just like champagne. See that? See the bubbly? You can see the bubbles. We'll pop the top. I had to kind of make sure that it doesn't explode all over the place like champagne, even though I'd like to do like one of those kinds. There we go. See it, and when you pour it, it's gonna kind of give you that bubbly effect. Yeah, see it, you hear that? Hear those bubbles? This is the Jungle Hooch. This has been sitting for a couple of months. Ooh, it smells very, you can smell that bay leaf right on the top, just like in bay rum. It's like a bay rum champagne, you guys. It's what it smells like. Whoa! Oh yeah, this will get you there. You show up to the party with some of this stuff, people are gonna be leaving happy. They're gonna show up, you show up smelling extraordinary, wearing a Beach Geeza fragrance, bring that Beach Geeza Jungle Hooch, everyone's gonna get happy with this. Be careful though, because you could drink it fast and it will sneak up on you. This stuff is strong. So what do you guys think of that? Beach Geeza champagne, y'all. It's a new thing I'm working on. I know nothing about alcohol distribution. I can't sell this stuff right now. But if I come to your town one day and I'm doing a pop-up, or if you come to Austin, Texas, and you come to like a Beach Geeza event, I'll probably have a couple bottles on hand and I'll give you a glass. If it isn't already drank up and gone already. That's how we can start off doing this. That's right, getting in the vibe, the Friday evening vibe, the beach vibe, you guys. We all got to do it. All right, so that's that, the Beach Geeza Jungle Hooch. Good stuff. Now let's get into what most of you guys came here for, which is to learn more about Jet Set. Jet Set is a straight up fougere fragrance, you guys. A Beach Geeza fougere fragrance, meaning that you got to have the essence of the beach in it. So it's got a top note. The first thing that's going to hit your nose when you spray on Jet Set is sea salt. Beautiful, natural smelling sea salt. It's just beautiful. And before I dig too deep into the notes here, let me just kind of talk about what inspired Jet Set. So Jet Set, the idea came to me because, as some of you guys know, I was a videographer, cinematographer, doing a lot of TV work, cinematography work, traveling, getting to do a lot of that kind of work. And one year I got on we were on a shoot, and it started in Bangkok, and we were in Bangkok for a few days, and then we had to get on a plane in Bangkok and fly to Bali. This fragrance is what I want that experience. I want you to spray on this fragrance and get that experience. Getting on the plane in Bangkok, getting to fly first class to Bali, the whole essence of what it smelled like, what it made you feel like when you're in that first class cabin, and then landing in Bangkok, or landing in Bali, and getting the essence of what it is to land in Bali, to smell that sea salt air, to smell the jungle. So it's like business and pleasure mixed in together. What you have on the top, and also this is very much a therapy for me to make this fragrance, you know, being that we're all in the pandemic, we can't travel at all. This fragrance is very much all about the therapy of being able to travel again. It makes you feel like you're traveling first class, you're able to, it just kind of, you spray it on, you're just like, oh man, it brings back those memories, or it creates something in your mind that makes you aspire to want to travel first class and go and see exotic places and experience exotic things. So what I have for the top note in this fragrance is sea salt. It's just, it's here and it's gone. Like there's just like this blast of it that's like, you smell it for a few seconds, but it's quickly followed up by a beautiful natural neroli note. And the neroli that I use is here. Neroli itself is very expensive. This is diluted down to 10%. So, and I keep it at the 10% dilution, so it sticks out very, very strong. It smells like, what neroli smells like, this neroli oil just at that dilution, smells like an orange tree in the spring that's just popping off with orange flowers, with orange blossoms. That's what neroli smells like. That's what it is. It's one of the most beautiful, alluring, malleable top notes I've ever worked with. So sea salt and neroli. So you got, and then right up behind that, I put natural sweet orange. So the orange blossom flower and the sweet orange mixed together with that sea salt. Gosh, man, it is fresh therapy, you guys. And then I always have to do this. I had to put a little bit of natural bergamot in there too. There's just something about that, the intensity of that note. You kind of need that, you know, the intensity, acidic, kind of citrusy. Also, the natural bergamot that I use has a bit of florality to it as well. So all of this blends together with that sea salt top note to create like this just like incredible, freshy smelling, like initial experience of the fragrance. Now, the sweet orange and the bergamot, the sea salt, that kind of will be the first notes to kind of disappear, but that neroli sticks around. And what it turns into from there, we get into the middle. The neroli kind of is what kind of takes you into the middle. What it's gonna hit right up against is this beautiful shave soap accord note. There's a shave soap accord in here, in Jet Set. When I mean shave soap, I mean like a straight up lather, gentleman's shave soap, but not like dry or powdery, just almost like a wet lather, first class, very expensive, fatty shave soap. That note is in there and it mixes with that neroli. And then, but I didn't want this to be like a soapy fragrance. Like that's just not what I was going for here. Even shave soap, you know, that barbershop shave, it's a barbershop shave soap, but you've got to have some natural elements in there that mix with it, that give it some sort of depth in the heart of the fragrance. So I found an oil that's very special, and tell me if you guys have heard about this. I'm gonna show it to you guys. It's called cypriol. It blends with that shave soap accord beautifully. And what cypriol smells like, if I'm just to smell it straight up, it's leathery, woody, earthy, dry, spicy, patchouli, vetiver, all in this one natural ingredient that's just packed with its, like, you could just make a fragrance just out of this oil and you would get, I could list off all of those notes just with the cypriol. Ooh, I love this song. I'll turn it up a little bit. Tell me if it's too loud. This is a damn good song, y'all. This is how I feel when I spray on Jet Set in the morning. I'm like, let's go, baby. I'm feeling good. I'm smelling clean. Yeah, so cypriol, this stuff is incredible. This is what helps make Jet Set a fougere fragrance. This stuff, straight up. Y'all hear that? I hope y'all have a beverage going, because the Jungle Hooch takes a little while to kick in, but when it does, man, it sneaks up on you. Cheers to you guys for coming and experiencing this with me. Appreciate it. Yeah. All right, so that's Cypriol. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. And so I'm gonna list that as an official note. I've never seen Cypriol as a note before. Very complex, packed with natural micromolecules in this that give it this just incredible depth. So I'm gonna list that as an official note in Jet Set. I'm gonna smell that one more time too. Oh, beautiful stuff. I'm gonna use this again for sure. Maybe go a little heavier with it in another fragrance. All right. So next, what we have is a jasmine note behind that. It's a jasmine accord that I created. Not the same one that's used in Cocoa Moon, different one. This jasmine accord blends more with it's a clean jasmine. It's not a skanky, dirty smelling jasmine. It's to go along with the fougere barbershop kind of first class. And there's enough herbal earthiness that comes from the Cypriol. It's a clean floral jasmine that still smells very masculine, very clean. It can be my wife loves wearing Jet Set. My mom loves wearing Jet Set. And another thing, I sent a sample of Jet Set to the perfumer Yosh Han. I'm not sure if you guys know who she is or not. One of her most famous fragrances, she has Ode de Yosh, and she's also head of the Scent Festival. I sent Yosh a sample of Jet Set, and she said, Ryan, this fragrance reminds me of the smell of the Dubai airport. That's what she said. She says something about what you've captured in this fragrance. I was like, that's what I was going for. You know, from Bangkok to Bali, the airports, the sea salt air, all this stuff. She's like, whatever you did, like, as soon as I sprayed it, I immediately felt like I was back in the Dubai airport. She does a lot of traveling because she does, one of her most famous fragrances is Ginger Chow. I don't know if any of you guys own that. It's a beautiful jasmine, beachy fragrance. So she travels a lot for her brand, the fragrances that she creates. This reminded her of the Dubai airport, which I thought was really cool. And I'll do a post about that sometime and tell like the whole story. So there's a clean jasmine there in the heart of it that mixes with that shave soap and that earthy, woody, patchouli, vetiver, cypriol note, leathery. Okay, and then because there's a little bit of cypriol in there, I wanted to keep the green notes going. So there's a touch of vetiver. It's a very, very, very light. I'd love to list the note as light vetiver because that's what it is. This is not a vetiver fragrance. And I'm wearing it now, so I'm smelling myself because it's coming off. The vetiver gives this the heart of this fragrance just a little bit of backbone, you know, just kind of like helps keep it all together. And it raises. I thought that would be more settle into the base, but the vetiver actually, just as vetiver does, it really comes into the heart of the fragrance. But it's not. It is not the star of the show. The soap note and the cypriol, the shave soap, the barbershopness and the cypriol, that is like the heart of the show. Neroli on the top, coming into that, giving you this clean, beautiful, fresh, floral, yet deep and rich and complex heart to this fragrance that sits on your skin and will last for hours. Your mileage may vary depending on your skin chemistry. You guys who are fragrance fanatics and collectors and frag heads know about that. On me, I get, several hours. I mean, I'll wear this all day and then I'll wake up the next day and I still smell it. Like when I wake up or on my arm usually, I'll still smell it, the base. Speaking of the base, let's get into it. The base of Jet Set. Okay, so it wouldn't be a proper fougere fragrance if I didn't have some oak moss in this fragrance. So Jet Set has, and it also, that the oak moss in the base lends itself to to create it, to make it a barbershop fragrance. It gives it an amazing earthiness, a really beautiful earthiness to it. It also, this oak moss that I use, it's the same one that I use in Cocoa Moon, which gives it that beachy sea salt. This oak moss that I use, like it almost has I use it in ocean water too. It almost gives like this seaweed, sea salt, amazing earthiness that does not smell like like oak moss. It smells like the beach to me. It smells like the seaside to me. That is in the base of this. It is not the center of the show. It is not the star of the show, but it is what helps create the sea salt accord that is also in the, actually, let me go back. Before we get into the base, there is also another sea salt accord that is in the heart of this fragrance. There's the top sea salt note. Sorry, we're backtracking a little, back to the middle. There is a middle note of sea salt in this too, and a lot of that, the oak moss is what's helping create that. Mixing with the shave soap, cypriol, jasmine, and vetiver, there's a sea salt in there. Sea salt note in there that I put in there, an accord that mixes with that oak moss, and that's what's gonna kind of transition to the base when this, after you've been wearing it for hours and it starts becoming more of a sillage type experience, or even a skin scent after several hours, but it still smells good when people get close to you. That's what they're gonna pick up. Kind of a bit of a salty, leathery oak moss. Beautiful, unisex. On a masculine man, he will smell sexy and clean. A woman will smell sophisticated, like she's the boss when she's wearing this fragrance. So the oak moss, and of course, mixing with that oak moss, I had to put in an ambergris accord. And the ambergris accord in this is different from ocean water. It's not nearly as kind of earthiness. It's not I didn't want it to smell like ocean water. I wanted it to smell almost like a, it has to mix with that sea salt and the soap accord and create almost a masculine base that is beautiful. I think Creed fragrances do this really masterfully, and that was really what I wanted to create. Something, a masterful ambergris experience that isn't the star of the show, but it's very much there in the background, and it's working its magic and doing its thing, working as a fixative on your skin, helping the fragrance last a long time, and giving it that brilliance and sophistication and sexiness. And also it'll blend with everybody's skin very differently. So I think this ambergris accord is going to smell differently on a man than it would be a woman, differently on anybody's skin chemistry. It's gonna do it's gonna help your skin. What it's gonna do is make it smell like your natural smell. That's what really ambergris really does, if I'm gonna be honest. Ambergris on its own, even the ambergris accord, doesn't really smell like much. It doesn't really smell like something that you'd wear, but when you mix it with all these other things, it blends with your body chemistry, and it just makes you smell extraordinary, smell sexy, smell fantastic. So there's an ambergris note in there. All right, so the next note is another natural note that I wanted to bring out. This is a patchouli, a really beautiful, dark patchouli. It's got, now if there's any bit of a, ooh, yeah. This patchouli mixes with the ambergris. Now this is a bit of a dirty, weedy patchouli that's earthy. I've had this patchouli for a long time. I've had my eye on it for a long time. This particular patchouli from this particular supplier, I've been wanting to use it for a long time. I just couldn't figure out where to mix it, how to blend it. It's so complex, it's so rich, it's so interesting. It's got a sweetness to it, a leatheriness to it, a weediness to it, and then that quintessential astringent kind of patchouli smell too. Now, oh yeah, and there's almost like a, oh man, I love this song. There's almost like a tar oil kind of smell that comes out of here too. Again, it's almost like you could make a fragrance just out of this oil, out of this patchouli oil. It's so rich, so complex, and it sits in the base with that ambergris so perfectly, you guys. This was actually the beginning of Jet Set, was that ambergris accord and this patchouli mixed together. I was like, I got something here. This reminds me of, it's a leathery kind of smell, but I didn't want to use a leather note. It's almost like a leather seat in a first class cabin. That blue leather, that's what the ambergris and this smells like. This is what inspired Jet Set, mixing those two things together. Truly fantastic. If I was to put an image to this and I've come from a, the masculine point of view. It's a masculine man who's dressed really well, who's just closed a banging business deal, and now he's getting on a plane to Bali, and he's going to Bali to enjoy himself. And he's flying first class, and he's got his lady with him. Maybe you guys are both wearing this. This patchouli and that ambergris inspired that. That's where that comes from. So patchouli is a note in the base of this fragrance. Now, saving this for last. The last note in Jet Set. Let me take a sip, because this is a very special ingredient. Y'all hear that song? The song is called Texas Sun. Oh, it's a Beach Geeza song to the T. I go down to Padre Island, I gotta hear this song. When I'm driving on Texas roads down to Padre Island, all you Texas Beach Geezas, Texas Sun, that's right. Jungle Hooch is sliding down really nicely. Opening up a bit more, I smell the cardamom coming out of here now, and the allspice. And the sweetness. There's a sweetness in here. All right, so let's get to this last note in Jet Set. Very special ingredient. Again, another natural ingredient. It's not an oil, it's an absolute. It's an ingredient. It's a raw material called Liatrix. Any of you guys ever heard of that? Liatrix? Liatrix. I have never smelled anything like this before. This is what, it's so dark. It's an absolute, it's not an oil, so it's even more, see that up close. It's even more intense than the Cypriol. And it's what really, I don't have to use much. This stuff is extraordinarily strong. That's what gives it this green color. It's just a touch of this Liatrix. Diluted, will turn it this green. And what Liatrix smells like, it works with the Cypriol brilliantly. They're kind of like kindred spirits, or almost like a brother and a sister, kind of like, if I was to like say of the natural ingredients that I have in here. It's spicy, it's sweet, it's a plant, It smells of coumarin, strong coumarin, or tonka bean. It's got a very strong tonka bean element to it. It's herbal. Oh yeah, it's tobacco leaf. Boom, and almost like there's almost like a licorice, a faint anise or black licorice smell to it as well, which doesn't come across in Jet Set. That's kind of buried in there a little bit, but what you smell come out in Jet Set with this is what I've described kind of in the top. The spicy sweetness really kind of comes into the middle of the fragrance, and once the fragrance dries down on your skin, you really kind of get an herbal coumarin element to it. Liatrix. Again, one of those raw materials that you could make a fragrance, just like you could just dilute this and put it out there for people to wear and they'd probably love it. This is like really amazing to use in blends, really beautiful to use on its own. If you were to put this in a diffuser and diffuse your diffuse this scent through your house, people would come in and be like, what is that? That smells amazing. It's natural, it's herbal, it's sweet. What is that? Yeah, I've never smelled anything like this. I've smelled a lot of stuff, you guys. I'm always getting new samples for raw materials, and I've never come across anything like this before. A really, really interesting fragrance. So that rounds off the notes for Jet Set. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 notes all together. That's top note of sea salt that hits you right away. That goes into Neroli, sweet orange bergamot, so it's got a fresh top that dissipates. That Neroli hangs in there and blends with that shave soap accord, that barbershop shave soap accord. So it's like it's a Western barbershop kind of fragrance that blends with that Neroli. It goes into this Cypriol, which is a woody, earthy, dry, spicy kind of patchouli vetiver kind of a smell, super complex. A clean jasmine, a little more light vetiver to kind of tie everything together, and then sea salt in the middle too, a light sea salt. Oak moss comes up once it starts moving into the base, grabs that, pulls it down. You've got oak moss and ambergris, and the oak moss and the ambergris come together and create this beautiful skin scent for you once it's gone down to the base notes. And then the Liatrix, which actually, I smell the Liatrix all the way through the fragrance. I smell this Liatrix from the top to the bottom, and it changes on its own. So you're gonna get the spicy sweetness when you first spray it on. When you get to the middle, you're gonna have a bit of a herbal coumarin kind of smell notes that you're gonna smell from that. And when it gets down to the bottom, it's a bit of like almost like a tobacco leaf with like a bit of like an anise kind of a smell a little bit that mixes in there. So this is a really beautiful, complex fragrance. Makes me feel like I'm traveling first class, that I'm super clean. Yosh Han said it reminds her of the Dubai airport, the smell of the Dubai airport. And I just absolutely love it, you guys. I've been wearing this stuff like crazy. I love this formula. Ooh, yeah. Sweet orange bergamot, neroli. Yeah, beautiful citrus notes off the top. So what do you guys think? Oh, so many of you guys are gonna wanna know like, when it's going to be released, right? When can I get mine? Excuse me, I have to itch my head. When can I get mine? So, my aim is to release it in a month, like right around early May. Got some of the batch macerating right now. Working on creating some more, ordering some more raw materials so I can keep making it. So. Thank you, California Fragrances. I'm glad that sounds amazing. Yeah, early May is when I'm thinking of. So real quick here, just in the next few weeks, Jet Set will be available. The first batch of Jet Set will be available for y'all to buy. This is the perfect spring fragrance, and into early summer, June, all that time of year. You can wear this to work. You will get compliments on it. It smells professional. It smells like you are a person who knows what they want, knows what they're doing. It smells sexy, it smells clean, and at the same time, it's got this real complex kind of fougere, herbal, yeah, woody, earthy, dry, spicy, patchouli thing going on that's just like, if you wear this to the office, people will be like, who is this person? What's going on here? There's a lot going on here, but it all works somehow. Yeah, if you want to dress really nice, wear something, you could wear this fragrance out. It could be worn at night. It's a very, I would say that it definitely leans more into the safe side of fragrances. It's not as niche, as far as niche fragrances go, it's not something that you couldn't wear in any occasion. It's kind of a perennial fragrance, you know, but I definitely think that it lends itself more to spring, early summer, the warmer time of year. Though it is strong enough to wear any time of year, but it just makes you want to travel when you wear this. It makes you want to go someplace hot, someplace with a jungle, someplace warm, and it makes you want to travel first class.